Hello, my name's Owen, and I'm the Creative Wellbeing Curator at GoldsQUAD. Welcome to GoldsQUAD. GoldsQUAD is a relaxed, friendly group for anyone over 50 with an interest in creativity. For this week's session, we welcome back Spiral Arts, where participants took part in a textile activity to create their own inspirational pennants. For more information about GoldsQUAD and to book on to future activities or sessions, please visit our website. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this activity.
To make a pennant, you will need an A4 size piece of plain coloured fabric, an A4 size piece of calico, contrasting fabric pieces cut into small shapes in 4 to 5 colours, an embroidery hoop, embroidery threads, a needle, some scissors, pins, invisible pen or pencil, masking tape, ribbon, garden wire, a skewer, and a printout of pen and template and inspirational words, just like the one we've shown here.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Maureen and myself have been doing GoldsQUAD for many, many years, and I think we were last at the beginning of March last year. So we had a whole load of sessions that we were going to do till the end of March, but a couple of them got cancelled at the last minute. So it's really lovely to see you all, and also to see some new faces. So we're called Spiral Arts, and we're based in Derby Arboretum. We're in one of the lovely lodge buildings on the park, so we get to look out at the trees all day if we can, or don't do any work. But I've put lots of boards up so that the sun isn't streaming in and blocking the view. So we've decided that I'm going to lead today's session, and Maureen will do next week, and then I'll do the third session, and Maureen will do the last one. So just to make it a bit easier, because we normally would be sharing it when we've come and done the sessions before.
I was saying that's the plan.
Okay. Used to be, Maureen. So the first activity that we've decided to do is to make a little sort of banner, a little flag, pennant flag, with an inspirational word on it for the start of the new year. So it's basically collage and applique and embroidery. So do as much as you can. Don't worry if we'll go at the pace of everybody so that we can all have a go. And if you can finish it today, that would be brilliant. Don't worry if you don't. You can carry on doing it after the session. So I think I'm going to try and share my screen. Okay, so this is the one I've done as a sample, and so it's basically sort of collage bits. Is everyone seeing it okay? It's all clear enough, is it, for you? Yeah. So I've collaged pieces of fabric on top of a backing, and then I've embroidered a word, which I've appliqued on as well. And then I've cut out some flowers and appliqued them on. And I've also put a tassel on the bottom and then a ribbon at the top. So that's one that I made a sample of. I'll just show you a couple of others. This one was where I did the whole backing, all collage with pieces, and did the word on top. And then this one is, I actually embroidered the word directly onto the backing fabric. I don't think it stands out as well, but there's 3 different ways that you can do it. But today I was going to show you the first one, which is just doing a few pieces of collage at the back and then the word on top. Okay, so I hope you've got some pieces of fabric, because I was probably a bit stingy in the envelopes. I don't know. We had trouble trying to work out how much to put in, really, and how it would get through the slot for the first class or second class. So I've sent you a sheet, and on it is the template for the pennant backing, and also some words that can be embroidered. So if you can either use some of these words or you can choose your own word, but I quite like this font. I think it's Bradley Hand, yeah. And I think it was 48.48 the size I did, and I did do it in bold as well, just so that you'd be able to trace over it. So the first thing would be is to cut out this this template, and this is only half because we were trying to squeeze it on one page. We've only given you half, so when you put it on the fabric, we'll put it on the fold. So if you want to, if you haven't already cut it out, if you want to cut it out along the thick dark line, I'm probably using my fabric scissors on paper, but that's all right. Okay. And then I'm going to get a piece of my backing fabric and fold it in half. And then where it's, I think it's on your template, does it say put on the fold here? Because on mine, I think I've just cut it off on the photocopier.
If anybody's done sewing, dressmaking, they should be familiar with this.
I didn't check all your, I'm hoping that you've all got your materials and equipment. Have you got pins? And then pin it on to the fabric. Okay, and cut it out when you're ready. And then if you can cut out one, well, I've backed it with calico on the backing of the backing of that. I've just used calico. So there should have been a piece of calico in your envelope. You should have a flag like that in the main colour, and then I'm going to do the same on calico. And then I've got, you're still cutting out, are you all right? I'm looking at the chat as well. There's nothing in the chat, is there? And then I just chose sort of a range of colours and fabrics, plain fabrics that I could use to make the backing, the collage on the back. So I basically just cut some small little squares and then arranged it. So you might want to take some time to do this.
Yeah.
I've decided to do rectangles and squares. You could do other shapes if you wanted. And if it was a fabric that was fraying a lot, I just sort of pull some of the threads so that I've just got a bit of a fringe. And when you're happy with how you place them, if you just pin them on, need some incidental music playing in the background, don't we? Have to sing, Maureen.
I was humming, I have to say.
So once you pin that on, so the next thing would be to do your word, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it on. Well, it's probably best on a paler piece of fabric, I think, so that you can see it nicely. So I might just use some calico. So so the way to do it is either to copy the word, draw it onto your fabric from the sheet, choose the word that I've given you, or you could try and trace it. If you put it, if you tape the sheet onto a window and put your fabric over the top, you'll be able to trace over it. So you could go to a window and do that, and you can either use. I have got an invisible erase. Well, it says it's an erasable pen, but it actually just disappears after I've embroidered over it. Or you can use a pencil, but you might have to use a rubber to rub over it. And if I'll write it and do one, and I'll show you. But I did just a running stitch, and I used 2 strands of an embroidery thread, and I always start on the right hand side of the word, so not the way you'd write it, but the opposite way, and sew it from right to left. Because you're so used to writing it, sometimes it's better to sew it the other way, so that you actually, and then when you finish it, then it actually does look like the word. So I'm going to actually, just having it down on the table, I can actually see it through the calico without putting it up at the window. So if you have got embroidery hoop, it's much easier to use on embroidery hoop, and I've got some very little ones. I've been doing quite a lot of sewing throughout the pandemic. I've been on a stitching club, so I've sort of ended up getting myself lots of new equipment. So if I just tell you, I've done my word and I've just trimmed it down and I've sort of frayed the edges a bit so it doesn't or start coming apart, and I'm placing it down in the middle. And then I'm going to just use, I've got some different contrasting threads that I'm just going to do some just some big stitches along around each edge of each square or rectangle on the background, and then a running stitch around the word. So if I don't know if I can show you. So I've sort of done some just big stitches just to catch the edge of each piece.
Hmm.
So I'll just, when I get to the end, then I'll, oh, so I've got to, so after you've sewn all those bits on and the word, I cut out flowers from flowery fabric. I mean, you could cut out shapes or other, doesn't have to be flowers. So just to, so when I'll show you on this one, so it sort of held the bits of collage down by putting the stems on. Trying to, I put a skewer in the top just to make it a bit stiffer when you hang it up, because I thought it might fold forward if I didn't. But what I did was I took my calico piece and I pressed I pressed in the seam allowance all the way round. I mean, I can do it. And then I put the stick inside and I folded it over and I sewed along the edge there. So it was trapped there. And then I sewed the one on top of the other. What I'll do is I'll press it and I've got an iron here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I pressed in all the edges of my calico, and then I put the skewer in the top edge, and I folded it over, and I did a running stitch across the top. So the skewer is in the top edge, and now I'm just winding the wire around a pencil to make the loops. And so these loops would go like that, or you could have them at the two ends. Oops. And I did do like a blanket stitch around my sample with embroidery thread. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah. Oh, around the wire. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dawn.
Just to cover the gold wire, or you could leave it gold. You can have it there, or you can have it there. Ooh. Just so that you've got something to. So I attached all that to the backing first, the back piece first, and sewed it on. So you can do it round your hand, can't you, Maureen?
Yeah.
Or
You
a bit of
wind it with
card.
a strip of, or you can use fabric or thread, can't you? Use fabric if you
Yeah,
want.
so you just wind it round a bit of card.
Yeah.
And then stop. And then you put another bit through underneath, don't you? Is that right, Maureen?
Yeah.
Like that. So you tie it at the top. You slide it off the card. And cut it at the bottom. And then you can put another piece of thread around just to get like a head.
Okay.
And then knot it. Was that too quick?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Lost the ends now. You could put a different colour so around the middle so that you can see where the ends are. And then I sewed on the tassel before I put the back and the front together, just so that everything is enclosed in it. You can trim it if it's a bit.
Very easy.
Are you going to attach both pieces then to each other?
Yeah,
back and front?
I was just about to attach it and then realised I hadn't done the tassel.
And
so
flip in, yes.
So you put the tassel on the front and then you put one on top of the other.
Yeah. You could use a machine for that, obviously, rather than hand stitch.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could do. I did it all by hand, but you could sew over the two together. Yes, the ribbon is just so that you can hang it from the two loops. You might want to make your calico slightly smaller, the backing, just so that it tucks behind the front piece. I think I've gone and I mean, you don't have to put loops on. You can just sew it. You can just sew the ribbon straight onto the backing, and make sure you get your skewer in there, just so that it keeps it stiff. Was the first one, and I did put a bead as well before I put the tassel. Put the bead at the top there, so you can put some beads.
Yeah, lovely.
Oh,
Our motto for this lockdown.
Yes. Hope.
So there's that one, and then there was this happiness one.
That's nice.
I mean, I haven't put any flowers on the one I've just done, but the fabrics that I had, it already had a black outline round the flowers, so that sort of makes it stand out, I think, straight away. And then I just sewed in the very centre. Just put some green sewing in the very centre there. And that was the third one I did, the Inspire one. And I used sort of pinky flowers and a pink fabric, so I sort of arranged it around that. Put some leaves on.
For more information about GoldsQUAD, please visit www.derbyquad.co.uk and search GoldsQUAD.